Sorry, I'm running behind. Lacy is not Ameren, Illinois. They know who you are by now.
Just known.
That you are known. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you, CJ?
Living the dream, Lacy.
All right. What kind of dream?
Lucid. What'd you write about?
I wrote about the Illinois Humane Society doing their annual conference in Alton, which happened in September of 1925. Their annual convention.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, and see, what I think is so fascinating, and this is, I guess, my biggest wish, and I guess I'll break the fourth wall. If I were to ever run for mayor, what I would do to break, just how great Alton, was just a great meeting spot. And I know things change with geography, and but we still have some such cool things, and we have some cool conferences still. Yeah. To have more of those would be awesome. Yeah. Well, and I'm not taking donations, by the way.
Part of the reason that I think it was held in Alton, is that Angie Rand Schweppe was the Alton Humane Society president, and she was very, very involved. We've talked about her before.
She was on Vintage Voices.
She was on Vintage Voices. Yes, she was on Vintage Voices. Yeah, I know. I was kind of excited that all
remembered. Look at that. Wow.
And, right. So I've written about her. She's on Vintage Voices. I'm a big fan of Angie Rand Schweppe. She's buried in Alton Cemetery. So she set this up, and she, from everything I understand, she was on top of things. She was a go-getter. She was really a very, very impressive person. Mm-hmm. And between her and Sophia DeMuth, who was the police matron, who has also been in Vintage Voices a couple years ago before I was involved, and was officially the county probation officer at this time. They always talk about how Angie Rand Schweppe took care of the animals of Alton and Sophia DeMuth took care of the children. So the Humane Society in that time period was actually taking care of both animals and neglected and abused children. So it was like an overarching.
Wow.
I know. And it was really interesting. I learned this in my research, but apparently the Illinois Humane Society started in 1869. The Alton branch of that started in 1889. So, 45 years before this conference.
Wow.
And, so 1869 is when they started to provide protective services for abused animals. And a big part of that was that the Union stockyards in Chicago were just so horrific. And so that's kind of what led to this. But then, since there wasn't an agency responsible for child welfare, in 1879, so 10 years later, the Illinois Humane Society extended its protective services to neglected, abused, and abandoned children. And they were successful in securing child welfare legislation and then the establishment of the first juvenile court in Chicago. So they had sort of this overarching taking care of the vulnerable in communities in Illinois. So
I love it.
Really, really cool to see that happening in Alton. So they had a whole bunch of people come down from all over Illinois and then some in Missouri. And the morning had meetings where they were discussing problems connected to humane work, workshops basically. And then there was an automobile ride from 4 to 6 so that no, this is what you have to do if you are bringing conferences here, because it was to see the beauty spots of Alton for the people that didn't live here, to show off our town. That makes sense.
Okay.
Okay.
I thought it was a $2 a ride thing.
No. It was a special event. And so they there was an ad that Angie Rand Schweppe put in the newspaper, if you have an automobile and you'd be willing to, be a chauffeur on this, please let me know, because they were going to have a little tour. So it sounded really
that reminds me. I mean, why do we have to pay to go into these pumpkin and apple farms? Have you noticed this lately?
Well, you don't have to pay to go to all of them.
Not
you
all
just
of
have to pay when you.
But some of them. Have you
Really?
noticed that some there's a few around here that I'm wait, I got to pay admission to then go pay for the other thing, and I get there's activities there, but I mean, I ain't going to go ride the cow train.
Okay, well, I'm not sure, because I feel like some of them.
You know what I'm saying? If you had totally worth the price, if it comes with the things. But it's I just noticed that lately. There's one we went to Greenfield's farm. They were awesome. It was free to get in. It was free admission.
Yeah.
There are, like you said, some that do that. A lot of them. But then I looked online and there's some that's $6 to get in, or $10, and I'm like, whoa.
Is it to get in, or is it to do the children's activities?
For admission.
Really?
Admission.
Okay.
I disagree.
So do your research before you
disagree with admission charges.
Choose your pumpkin farm.
Like, I just want to say they do it right up there. It was so much fun.
Good.
We had a great time.
Good.
I just saw that. I'm like, I was looking. I'm like, wait, hold on. Like, we gotta pay just to walk. There's like 8,000. Well, there's others. I don't know. Sorry. Back to Lacy.
So
Back to this article. This had nothing
automobile tour was free for participants.
The reason I thought about this is because there was one I saw where it was like it came with activities and you still had to pay for the barrel rides. And I'm like, whoa, well, hold on here. So you got to pay to get it. You got to pay additional for some of this.
Yeah.
This is like Disney World.
Right. You know what, though? Okay, we don't need to get into this, but Disney World actually... Once you're in, like, you have to pay for stuff, but you don't have to, like, pay extra for, like, the fast ride. I appreciate that. Like, if you can plan it, then it's easier. Because there's some where you have to pay extra to, like, get in the short line. Yeah. And I don't like that.
Well, and, too, I don't know if you saw this. Cruises are getting pretty cheap now. I saw it.
Cruises?
Yeah, I saw it on it. $349 for a 5-day Bahamas cruise, all inclusive at the Royal Caribbean.
That is a really good price, but I am far too anxious of a person.
See, that's how I am. Like, I feel like I'll have fun until I don't. And then when I don't have fun, the thousands on that board, ship, whatever you call it, they are not going to have fun either.
No.
I'll be on their local news feed.
I would do like a river cruise. Like if I can still see the sides of the land, I feel like that would be okay.
That's true.
Because I get anxious when I feel like I don't have an escape route in any situation.
Yeah, you pretty much don't on one of those.
No, I don't like that.
Have you seen that documentary on Netflix?
No, I read about it and I watched the preview, but I did not see it.
Absolutely nuts. Yeah, that's probably why the ticket price plummeted.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to the article. Sorry, my fault.
So they did this automobile ride, and then they had an evening with lectures and music, and the whole community was invited to that. Teachers specifically were invited, and because it said many interesting facts will be brought forth by the speakers, which will be helpful to the teachers in their work with the child, because all this child welfare stuff. So the mayor, the Alton mayor, George T. Davis, delivered the welcome address. J.J. Brenholt, who was the original president of the Alton Humane Society in 1889, delivered a lecture titled The Early Days of the Humane Society in Alton. And I went back and found the ads for when they were just first forming, the articles when they were first forming the Humane Society in Alton, which was cool. And Sophia DeMuth, who I mentioned, spoke about the work of the Alton Society, so what they were doing here. And there were some other, I didn't include all of them, but there were some other talks. There was one on the killing of animals by automobiles and how to prevent it, because this is obviously a new problem that they were dealing with. Yeah. The former dean of the Chicago Veterinary College talked about rabies in animals because it was something that they were having to deal with. The former rector of St. Paul's Episcopal Church spoke on the art of being kind. And as I said, there were musical numbers, so piano, voice, interspersed through the talks. But it was well attended and kind of a cool thing. It was just a one-day conference, but there was a lot leading up to it, and clearly a lot of work went into it with the
That's really fast. I just think it's so cool that they had such success with this, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, they did a really good job of getting people to care about the welfare of
and back
animals
then that wasn't really
that
was probably a nuanced thing.
I think that, I mean, the Illinois Humane Society was formed in 1869. But when it was first formed, like I said, it was due to the stockyards and a lot of what people were worried about for animal welfare and veterinary science. I didn't even think about this. Was horses.
Oh, yeah.
And so it wasn't until the automobiles really became the major way we were getting around, where veterinarians were focused on small household pets instead of horses or other stockyard animals. So really interesting. And that part of why I included a biography, there was a little section at the end talking about the Illinois Humane Society history, is because I went on kind of a deep dive after that. I looked up the guy who was working who'd been the dean of the veterinary school. And so that's where I learned some more about the history of veterinary science and all that. But yeah, it started as just like, oh, I'm going to talk about the lectures that they did. And then by the end, I was like, oh my gosh, I know so many things. Yeah.
This is really cool. And I'm going to take a break.
Yes.
Let's do it. Okay. Coming back with Lacy. And Lacy will be here until, well, 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. After this.
In the works welding and tank service, the nation's premier distributor of tank trailer parts. Dwight has been an outspoken and long-time supporter of the college, and is the current chairperson of Lewis and Clark Board of Trustees. Oh, and he's a Lewis and Clark grad.
I'm Dwight Wirtz, and I am a trailblazer.
Macias Insurance Agency, providing quality products with extremely competitive prices. As an independent provider, we source multiple companies to offer the best rates possible, covering auto, home, business, and life insurance. Our goal is to provide quality service that meets and exceeds customer expectations. You can rest easy knowing the Macias team is working round the clock to ensure that both you and the most important parts of your life are covered. Our qualified professionals make the insurance process easy so you can live carefree and focus on what matters most. Visit MaciasInsuranceAgency.com today to find out what our team can do for you.
Looking for the best barbecue in Madison County? Head over to Carver's Barbecue in Godfrey, Illinois. From loaded barbecue nachos to mouth-watering pulled pork, brisket, ribs, and more, Carver's serves up award-winning flavors you'll love. Family-owned, Carver's is all about fresh, made in-house dishes served daily. Come visit us at 2716 Groveland in Godfrey, or give us a call at 618-467-9999. Order online, get it catered, or stop by for the best smoked meats around. Where great flavors meet family tradition, you'll find Carver's Barbecue.
You're listening to Our Daily Show with CJ Nasello on RiverBender.com.
Welcome back to the Daily Show. Still 2 more chances. Welcome back with Lacy. So, did this group come back?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, like to do the convention again? That's a good question. I don't know. And I also don't know if this was the first time that they did it in Alton. Maybe. I feel like it's very likely that they did, but who knows?
I think it's just really fascinating. Yeah. I just love the work they did. And now, was this just kind of a litany of kind of just the accolades that Anne had? Schweppy? Like with
Angie?
Angie would bringing stuff like this in.
This is the kind of thing she did. She was like on the ground doing the work too. There was an article when we were researching her for Vintage Voices. There was an article where she had, I don't remember exactly how serious it was. I don't think she took someone to court, but she reported that a science teacher had, euthanized a cat to do a dissection in a class. Oh. And it was not a humane, he may have euthanized it in a way that was painless. I don't know. But the point was he did not follow guidelines of, proper uncruel treatment to animals through this. I don't know exactly what all the laws were, but I remember there was a whole thing in the article. There was a whole thing in the paper, a whole article about it, that she had brought forth this, accusation that he was not treating animals appropriately. And then he was saying, the cat was not long for this world. And it was, a science, to demonstrate science, to teach the students. And so it was kind of a back and forth. I agreed with her that I didn't think that you can just, make that decision yourself. But
yikes.
But yeah, it's kind of like the idea that we're still talking about, what is, in the name of learning, what's appropriate, what's appropriate, what's moral, what you have to look at benefits and who is being affected by any decision you make like that.
Well, it makes sense. And I think it's a really important note, though, when people talk about that, because, it's just good to note the advocacy outside of just the accolades, too.
Yes. Yeah. She got the accolades because she was working. Right. She was out there in the community. Same with Sophia DeMuth. They were going to people's houses to help with their kids. They were going to,
Gotcha.
like they weren't just sending other people, or they weren't just like in charge and weren't, on the ground themselves. They were out there doing the work.
That's really fascinating. Yeah. Well, Lacy, we have an interview coming up with Vintage Voices.
Do.
Preview that for me.
Oh, yes. Okay, we're going to talk about... That's not my job. No, we're going to talk about Vintage Voices because it starts this weekend.
It's a really cool thing.
And and that works perfectly since I just talked about Angie Ranchweppy, who was in Vintage Voices several years ago, and Sophia Demuth, who was in Vintage Voices years and years ago. And then my article this week is actually going to feature somebody, not as the main person. She's just a side character in my next article, but who's going to be in this Vintage Voices. So I'll mention that when we talk about some of the people that are going to be portrayed.
Very fascinating. We'll do this. We'll take a quick break, come back, talk Vintage Voices with Lacy and Co. right after this. RiverBender, Roku TV.